Hello and welcome everybody. Today, me and my group are going to talk to you about cyanide, which is a toxic compound found mainly in foods, but sometimes also in water. It's found also in cigarette smoke. But anyway, is that it's most toxic when it's inhaled as a gas, and that's what we are going to concentrate on today. Now, in order to understand how cyanide acts on our body, we need to ask some help. And George, our friend right here, is very kind and has given us the permission to look into his mitochondria. And here we have even a closer look at his mitochondria. Thank you very much, George. But what is going on? Now, this one is the inner mitochondrial membrane, which separates the intramembrane space from the matrix. And we are also observing a strong difference in protons that are actually the dots. There are more protons on the outside than the inside. And why is that? Because ATP synthase needs this difference in concentration to be able to synthesize ATP. And in order to maintain this difference, these four complexes actively work to keep protons on the outside. In order to do so, since they are working against concentration gradients, they utilize energy in the form of electrons that pass one through another. And this is called the electron transport chain. We are watching here, namely the most important of all, it is the complex 4, because in complex 4, oxygen, a molecule of oxygen, is used to bind to 4 protons and to form 2 molecules of water, which then in turn gets pumped in the intramembrane space. So this is why oxygen is called the final electron acceptor, and it is fundamental for the life. Why? Well, because we can see what happens when we insert cyanide into the body. Now, cyanide is a compound that has an extremely high affinity for cytochrome oxidase. Cytochrome oxidase is found on complex 4. What happens when cyanide binds to it is that complex 4 is not able anymore to utilize oxygen. And if this happens, this gradient concentration that we have between the intramembrane and the matrix quickly evens out. And so if we have no difference in concentration gradient, ATP synthase cannot work anymore. Thus, production of ATP is halted. And ATP is the main energy source of the cell. So the cell finds himself without energy anymore. So of course, lactate levels rise because we don't have anaerobic respiration anymore. Also, we have a rise in cytosolic calcium levels, and also the formation of reactive oxygen species. And here, unfortunately, we have our dear friend George, that with extreme sadness is leaving us. And George has a red, pale face. Why is this? Because in victims of cyanide poisoning, oxygen levels are present in the body, but they can't be used anymore. So this is why we have a really high level of venous oxygen, and thus the red color of the skin. This whole process is called isotoxic hypoxia, in which oxygen is present but can't be utilized by the body. RIP George, you were very kind, and thank you very much for your attention.